Good evening, everyone. This is Michael Green coming to you from Spokane, Washington. We're here to share some information with you tonight on our Leafit Thursday night call. What we would like to do, this is a fairly new format for us, but we're going to do a real quick brief over what our business model is like, and then I've got three very exciting guests to introduce to you tonight. Some real leaders in the field that have already figured out how to grow their business inside of this business model. So test. Billy's over my shoulder. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do a real quick test and make sure that we're broadcasting. If we could get somebody to shout out and go look. Billy, if you could check real quick. Yeah, Lee, maybe Aaron, if you guys can let us know that we are broadcasting okay, that we've got a good visual, we've got a good audio, that would be great.
I can see your slides that you've got up, so I've got the Leafit snippet.
Beautiful. Okay. Sounds like we're coming through. And I got Billy doing a thumbs up. We've got some people watching this next door as well. So, all right. Again, my name is Mike Green. I want to get underway because I don't want to take too much time away from these leaders that came to share with you tonight. Leafit, where our motto is, snap it, tag it, share it, it pays you. For the new people that are joining us for the first time tonight, I know there's some of you out there. We just kind of wanted to do a real quick brief. What is it all about? What is our it application all about? What is this social network all about? So we real briefly, we are the first market that we pay you for posting pictures inside of a social network. And when those pictures generate an e-commerce sale, you're going to get paid. So what we've actually done is we've tied social networking and e-commerce together. Simply put, you're going to go into a brand new social network, not that much unlike Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the rest, except when you do post pictures, you're putting yourself in a position to actually be able to earn a commission if a piece of retail that you attach to that picture, that you tagged to that picture, generates a sale. Now, we're contracted with and connected with over 19,000 retailers worldwide. So that gets pretty exciting. When you see this mobile application work, you're going to realize that in a blink of an eye, you've just shopped 19,000 retailers, and what's been returned to you is the lowest price that it could find, that it application could find on the item that you've tagged to that picture. It's revolutionary. Nobody's ever done it before. In fact, when we first started developing this technology, we realized we really had our hands on something. We filed a patent, a provisional patent back in January of this year. We now we're in patent pending status, and all I can tell you is that means that we are going to be the first to market with a social network that pays you for posting pictures when someone does make a purchase from that posted picture. It's exciting. It's invigorating. There's an explosion going on already. Even though we haven't launched this mobile application yet to the masses, we've got over 1,000 testers, beta testers, that have been using the application for the last 4 weeks. That in itself is exciting. When this does hit the market, it is a free install. Okay, initially, it's a free install to iOS. That means your iPhones, your iPads, your iPad minis, as long as you are upgradable to at least 7.0 or greater. But don't panic if you don't have an iPhone. The future development is PC, Mac, and mobile devices, including Android. We will be out in the market very, very soon on all devices. So you're going to be able to use this technology from any smartphone or from any laptop, any desktop, or your Mac. And that's where we're headed. But it is a very exciting technology that we're bringing to the market. And I just wanted to cover real quick the markets that we're in. If you look at social networking for starters, even the little guys like Pinterest, 70 million subscribers, Instagram, 200 million subscribers. Those are the small guys. You take it all the way to Facebook with over 1.23 billion free subscribers to their social network. This isn't a brand new market. This is a market we're simply going to tap ourselves into. It's already been proven that people thoroughly enjoy being inside of social networking. And there's the masses. We're simply going to place ourselves right in the mix. Now, the number of pictures that are posted each one of those social networks, in my eyes, that's staggering. I never had an idea that there was that much activity coming through those social networks. That's daily. Number of pictures being posted, and that's our space. Even the little guy, Pinterest, 20 million pins being posted every single day. What's the difference between our social network and Pinterest or Instagram or the rest? We're going to pay our free subscribers for posting those pictures, and when someone buys from the picture they posted, you're getting paid. That's huge. Now, the rest of the market Again, recapping, social networking, over 2 billion free subscribers are already in that space. But that space also allows us to get into online advertising. That's a $1.23 billion market. Affiliate direct sales, $167 billion industry. And look at the growth rate just over the last 12 months. E-commerce is the big one, though. $1.5 trillion. 1.5, that's up $500 million just in the last 2 years. The total market space that we're in, on top of those 2 billion free subscribers, is $1.8 trillion in markets. So when you're looking at trends and you're trying to figure out, what should I attach myself to, I'm telling you, between social networking and e-commerce, it's almost a no-brainer. We are in the right space. Social networkers, look where it's going. The trend. Just look from a couple of years ago, 2011, and where it's headed in the next 2 to 3 years. Staggering numbers. Those aren't our numbers. Go do your own research. This is where that social network industry is headed. E-commerce, business to consumer e-commerce worldwide, same thing. Look at where we were a couple of years ago. Look at where we're headed just in the next 2 to 3 years. That's the market space that we're tapping into, that we're allowing every single free subscriber that comes and joins our social network. We're showing them how to tap into those industries, and it's huge. Now, again, as I said, we have some special guests tonight. I want to introduce our first guest. These are people that are actually out building globally as we speak, because, again, we're on the internet. We are global, and these gentlemen are taking this very, very seriously in their growth. And the first person I'd like to bring up a post of his background, but I want Aaron to come online in his own words, kind of tell us what he's been doing over the last, I believe it's 45, 46 days. He's really attacking this with a fresh set of eyes. Aaron, are you with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Absolutely, you're loud and clear. Tell everybody what you've been doing over the last 45, 46 days, Aaron.
Hey, Mike, thanks, first of all, for having me on. And I got to tell you, I'm a guy who's just a creative guy. I've been in the music business for 20 years, as you can see kind of on the page there, and I've really only ever lived by residual income. I love writing songs, and those songs paying me for years to come. I've always been a multiple stream of income guy. Being on the road for 20 years, you have multiple streams of income from, making money on the concerts you do, as well as the merchandise you sell, as well as the royalties you make. So multiple streams of income is something I've been very interested in. And, as a guy who's been a musician, I'll never forget my son when he was in kindergarten. They went around the room and they asked my son, as well as the other kids in the class, what does your dad do? And, you have, my dad's a doctor, my dad's an engineer, my dad's this or that. And they got around to my son, and being a musician, my son said, well, my dad does nothing. And so people oftentimes think as a musician we don't have much going on. And obviously I've been approached with many, many opportunities and business models like Leafit over the years. I had a very small experience back when I was 25 years old for about 9 months in a company that was network marketing based, and really began to learn a lot about the business model. I love it. I love the fact that I can leverage my time and my efforts through people and raise up leaders and really come alongside people to help them achieve dreams. I really do enjoy that. So that was my only experience, and I hadn't really experienced anything since then until just about 45 days ago when my mom and my sister both they kind of came after me as a gang, if you will, and said, you've got to look at this thing called Leafit. Well, I pushed them off for quite a while because I had too much going on. I thought, I've seen all these things. And finally, my sister called me and goes, Bubba. She called me Bubba. She said, you got to sit down and watch this. And I said, okay, I'll do it for you guys. And for the first time, at 40 years old and having been in the business world for 20 years, being my own boss, I saw something I'd never seen before, and that was a vehicle that brought two of the biggest things on the planet together, and Mike's done a great job of already just kind of briefly touching on those things, and that's social networking and e-commerce. And I thought to myself, wow, if this is really what it is, then this is too good to be true. And I began to learn more about it and began to ask questions to guys like James McClintock there in Nashville, who's upline to me, and my mom and my sister. And Mike, you've been amazing over the past 45 days of answering any questions I had. And I jumped in. And we're in a situation right now, guys, where we're pioneering something. And pioneers are someone who is among the first to explore or settle something new. And with pioneering comes a risk and going into uncharted waters and places that other people aren't willing to go. And I'm telling you, as somebody who's been doing it for 45 days now, it's been exciting. It's been fun to walk into these areas and these places nobody's ever gone, with something nobody's ever seen, begin to build something that's going to pay us for, I believe, generations to come. With that comes change, and actually always been a guy that enjoys change. I like having new environments and new places to go. I know a lot of people aren't that way, but that's just kind of my bent. So something that has change involved, I'm cool with. And then when you're pioneering something, I want to also say, man, you fight the elements. You fight negativity. You fight doubt. And I know already in 45 days I've come across that. And, you have a decision to make. You're going to give into it or you're going to rise above it. And I got to tell you that, how you view it, the belief level you have, and the action you put behind that belief is going to dictate how your business goes. And so I take on negativity, and I douse it with positivity and with answers. The doubt that people will have, I don't know, I've seen this, is this one of those pyramid things? I welcome those arguments because they're really out of ignorance, not knowing what they're talking about, and I'm able to basically ask them questions to answer the question themselves. And I got to tell you, the thing I love most about this is the teamwork effort. And people like Brad and Karen North who've come onto our team, and we've just formed something out here in Southern California that's I believe is going to take the world by storm. I really, really do. I showed this to Brad over lunch one day, just as someone who I admire as a businessman, because he's a successful businessman, not thinking he would even be a part of it or be interested. And he looked at this thing, and he called me back a day later and goes, Aaron, if this is really what you're showing me, we're in. And they jumped in and have created such an incredible growth out here with their team. Trey Logson's a part of the team. Arlo Smith has come on recently and began to put some people in out of nowhere in West Virginia and Ohio. Shirley Lee Norris, Jenna Alcorn. These are people that are all walks of life, man. I'm a songwriter. I won't quit writing songs because I love it. I'm blessed to be able to do something I love. I won't quit that. But I have my hours in my day have definitely become more focused on Leafit and growing this business than it has songwriting and the other things I'm doing. So I want to end with two things. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And I think so oftentimes people are they get so caught up in their life that they don't think there's a way out. But if they're going to keep doing it, they're just going to life. And last thing I want to say,
we lost your audio. Oh, there you go. Go ahead. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we lost your audio.
Oh, that's cool. The last thing I want to say, man, is, what are you willing to do that other people aren't? Because so oftentimes people are followers. They're going to see this and they're going to jump in, but we're the guys that are pioneering this thing. We've seen it. We've decided to go for it. We believe it, and now put action to it and do something every single day that other people, that the masses aren't willing to do, and I promise you'll see growth in your business.
All right, Aaron, I got two comments for you, and one comment, one question. Questions. Hey, when we make the movie about Leafit,
yeah,
because there's going to be a movie, I promise you. The other question on a more serious note, what is the one thing, I think you've already answered it, just real quickly, what is the one thing you think you've done in the last 45 days that's really brought you some success?
Man, Mike, I don't decide for people. So often we begin to go, oh, if I talk to this person, there's no way they'll do it, or this person's already has too much going on, or and I got to tell you, I briefly spoke about it with Brad and Karen North. I mean, I literally thought they would have no reason to get involved in this, and they jumped in and have really changed the course of this Leafit team out here in Southern Cal. So don't judge anybody, but just go tell them, show them, let them decide for themselves, and I promise you'll see effects. The more output you give, the more results you'll have.
That's awesome, Aaron. And I really appreciate you coming on board and sharing with us tonight. I will tell you that you are a rock star. Just keep doing what you're doing, and I'm telling you, you're pressing us all the way up here at corporate, and everybody out there is looking up at you going, you got to be kidding me. He's getting it done. So thanks again, Aaron, for sharing with us, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you later today because that's the way you are.
Absolutely.
So thanks so much, buddy.
Good
All right, you guys, I want to bring on our next guest, Lee Oakey. I've known Lee Oakey for, I think, just over a year now. You talk about internet marketing, and I don't want to give too much away about Lee. I'll let him tell his story. But the guy knows what he's doing. I love his presence on the phone and on a webinar. I wish we could show him live because he's really that charismatic guy when you start doing some online marketing stuff. Lee, are you out there? Tell me we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, Mike. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing great, Lee. How you been?
Well, I feel completely inadequate after seeing Aaron's photograph and reading his bio, so I'm going to have to change things and ramp it up a little bit. So Just haven't got that rock star status clearly. But yeah, all is good. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about what you're up to and how you actually build your business, Lee.
Well, let me just give you a little bit of background. I mean, I moved here on a Brit, as you can probably gather from, I moved to California around 3 years ago, really wanting to get out of the rat race and get some time freedom, call it what you may, sack your boss and laptop lifestyle, something along those lines. And I've had about 20 years, in, as it says on screen, in business development, both on and offline. And I suppose the last 6 years, more specifically, I've immersed myself in learning and developing online marketing strategies. I want to emphasize I'm no genius with that at all. I started where, you know, many people are on the call with very, very little understanding of how the internet worked and so on. But one thing I did learn, which you know, has held me in good stead through business over the last few years, is that, you know, I'm a great believer in not reinventing the wheel. If somebody's doing something and it's working extremely well for them, then just simply copy it. And that's the ethos that we've used for my team, my downline. What I will touch on is that it says on there that, you know, I've only brought in 39 personal associates. Out of those, probably I would say 15 to 20 are extremely active in the business. But what might interest everybody who's tuned in is that those 39 personals have developed a downline for me of over 3,000 affiliates within Leaf in the last 15 months. So you can start to understand from that when you go out fishing using some of the strategies I will touch on briefly, you never know who you're going to get. You're going to get somebody that may introduce somebody, you know, 1 or 2 people. You then find somebody like James Wang that I've got in my team who've brought in, you know, nearly 400 people in a very short space of time because they understand internet marketing and the strategies that we've put into place in order to make life easy. Now, there's many different ways, and I know Billy's coming on shortly to talk about belly to belly, the traditional face-to-face on a phone line talking to people. I do a bit of that as well, but what I wanted to try and do was get away from being a slave to the telephone. So what we've developed is really an autopilot way of being able to grow your Leafit business. And though this may sound very sad to a lot of people, I get up in the morning around about 6 o'clock, I switch on my laptop, and nothing gives me greater pleasure with a cup of coffee of actually seeing that I've had another 15 people opt into my Leafit sales funnel overnight who are now watching or have already watched something on autopilot explaining the business rather than me having to do that 15 times over, time and time again, day in, day out. So we've implemented things like that, a very simple and a sales funnel, in case you're not familiar with that, and I know corporate are bringing out one shortly, and I'm highly looking forward to seeing exactly how that's going to work. But it's just a means, a little website with a series of pages linked together which explains the business in simple format. The most important thing is that it creates and encourages people to leave some information, normally their name and email address, then watch the video, and then hopefully asking for a commitment to either join free of charge and get involved and download the app, as they're going to be able to do very shortly, or look at August. The first thing is we're improving that sales funnel. Obviously, the compensation plan that is shown within it has to change, and we want to improve it in other ways. But very simply, it takes somebody around about 10 minutes to watch the whole thing from start to finish, and then we're asking them to take action, click a button, and join. The second thing that we're doing is making sure that everybody has actually got access to that system. And in addition to that, we are in the process of just finishing a new conference platform, which we're going to be inviting all of our team to on a weekly basis, very similar to this sort of call. The difference there is that we've got a button built into it where people can get their own unique link. And again, rather than going into massive detail themselves about explaining the business, and let's face it, some people just aren't very good at doing that. What they can do is say, hey, look, I'm not going to tell you too much about it, but what are you doing at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night? Why don't you just come in and listen to this call? Here's my own personal link, and if you're interested in joining, just click on the link, tune in on the internet, and there'll be a button directly underneath the video playing that will enable you to join me in the business. So, you know, I'll wrap things up, Mike, because I know you've got a lot to get through, but the bottom line is, guys, it's a team game. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you're here for the first time and you're not a great expert on online marketing strategies, just raise your hand. Somebody in your team, if you've already got started, will be. If you need assistance from me, I'm always approachable. Just ask for my number or contact details. I'll help you out as much as I can. And we're thoroughly looking forward to what is about to happen, both with the IT app being launched and obviously the massive change that there's been, which is huge news to all of us on the 2nd of August for the compensation plan. Back to you, Mike.
Hey, thanks so much, Lee. And I got to be fair here. I got to ask you a couple of questions. Well, okay, they're not two questions. I'd like to make one statement. I'd just like to say thank you for everything you've done, and congratulate you for your accomplishments. 39 personals. That's awesome. But to know that you're getting that copycat, you're getting your 39 to copy what you're doing. I think that speaks volumes for the growth that you've seen in your organization. And then the question I have for you is, when we do make that movie, would you be willing to play Lee Oakey?
Absolutely not.
Come on, Lee.
Let's deal with that when we get there, and let's hope to God that we've got time to go out and play the movie.
All right, Lee. Hey, thanks so much for spending time with us tonight. I really appreciate it. I know how busy you are, but thank you so much. We'll have you back again soon, I'm sure.
You're welcome, guys. Keep up the good work.
Hey, thanks. All right, you guys, the last person I want to share with you tonight is Billy Moreland. We're actually sharing an office right now, so this feels kind of weird to introduce him as he's sitting here. But I'm going to turn this over to Billy and let him tell a little bit about what he's done with his company, and also a little bit about his background. And then he's going to finish out by sharing some more information about our comp plan that's rolling out on August 2nd. So don't go anywhere. Here's Billy Moreland. It's all yours, Billy.
All right, Mike. Thanks once again. You're doing a great job, and thanks for setting up this technology on my end. What you're going to find out from me is I am not very technically savvy. I do not do internet marketing. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the approach I've used very successfully in my network marketing career, and that is belly to belly. When I say belly to belly, I'm talking about talking to people face to face, and I have managed to harness screen shares, and that's very effective, and that's almost face to face, and I've had a great deal of success with that. So, I've had a background in the financial services world, primarily life insurance products, annuities, built a couple of agencies, sold them, got introduced to network marketing in the early 90s, and got a great education from one of the biggest companies out there, went and applied it to a couple of other opportunities, and I'm always shooting for the top. I mean, the way I think is, if I'm going to join a business, I'm not doing it for a hobby. I'm doing it to make life-changing income, so I always want to know, how the heck do I get to the top of the compensation plan? Kind of like in the insurance business, you've got incentives, you've got promotions. The more you sell, the more you earn. And so those lessons, if you will, to network marketing. And I'm a family guy, as you can see there. We do have a blended family, but we've got a lot to manage. You'll see we've got a couple of little guys, a little girl, a little boy there, and they're just, they're demanding, but it's a great time. And we like to travel to tropical lands, and we do it all the time. And this industry has allowed my wife and I, my family, to do that, and we're really, really looking forward to meeting many of you and just having a ball as Leafit gets out of the gate. We introduce the IT app and spread this thing throughout the planet. So let me get into what I'm talking about here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about traditional belly-to-belly network marketing. I've always been a sales guy, if you will, and it's all about creating or developing a list of people. Lee was talking about funnel systems and lists. And the idea there is wonderful. You can reach a lot more people. When I talk about a list, I classify a list, and if you're taking notes, that'd be great if you could do that. When I talk about a list, I categorize a list into 3 categories: hot, warm, and cold. And I think people can relate to that. Hot list is the one you're going to start with. That's the people you know, friends and family. And, it's kind of cliche, but how do we skirt friends and family? Those are people who are closest to us, Those are your highest probability in sharing an opportunity and sharing life with, so don't beat around the bush. This is a friends and family business, and the hot list is where you're going to start. Now, whether you're calling your hot list or maybe your warm list, you're always going to start with a question. When you get this person on the phone or when you bump into this person at the dry cleaners or wherever you are, you're going to ask a question. I call it a peak interest question. Now, this peak interest question can be really, really short and to the point, or it can be a little bit longer. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of what I have used extremely effectively. Now, when I'm using my short peak interest question, I usually direct that question to people who I've had a relationship with in business. For instance, the network marketing world. And many of you know people in network marketing. Many of you on this webinar are involved, obviously, in Leafit and have been involved in other opportunities. And the very short peak interest question goes exactly like this. Hey, Joe, are you looking? Let me repeat that. Are you looking? Are you looking for something? Now, the people that I direct that question to know what I'm talking about. And typically, they get back to me with a response, okay? And I'll tell you what those potential responses are in a second. The second question, which is a little bit longer, directed towards people who maybe haven't done business with you in a network marketing situation, longer, but you want to keep it really short. And this is the second question I'm going to use for those types of people. Hey, Tim, I found an awesome way to make money online. Have you ever considered making an online income? Hey, Tim, I have found an awesome way to make money online. Have you ever considered making money making an online income? Real simple. Don't say anything else and wait for Tim to respond. Okay, so whether it's that peak question or the first one, which was simply, are you looking? You're going to have three possible responses. Three and only three. The first one is no. Tim might say, no, I'm not. I typically don't deal with people who say no beyond, maybe I'll send them a link to my replicated site. Maybe I'll say thank you and, you're missing the boat. But I'm not going to pound them. Maybe I'll keep them in a database, and quite frankly, my database are binder paper. I'm just kidding. The second possible response is absolutely, yes. And the third response, which is essentially a yes, is what is it? What do you got? So you're either going to get a no, a yes, or a what is it. Now, a yes and a what is it are essentially the same thing. They're both yeses. I've considered making money online. Okay, so you've got the question asked by you. You've got the answer, which is either yes, no, or what is it. Now, here's the most important part. How are you going to respond to a yes or a what is it? And it's really, really important you deal with this response the right way. Okay? And I suggest you write down and practice or know exactly what your answer is going to be and keep it to one sentence. Do not try to explain the whole deal. Keep it to one sentence. So, for instance, you might want to say something like this. Well, it's a new social network that allows you to earn money from your posts. Due to the business being an online business, I really need to show you. Okay? So it's a new social network that allows you to earn money from your posts. Due to the nature of the business being online, I really need to show you, Tim. Okay? So you've told them a little bit what it is. You haven't given it away. You haven't mentioned Leafit. But I need to show you. Now, once they, of course, want to be shown, which most of them do, and you're in control of this conversation, by the way, right? Because you're not giving away the store. I need to show you. You need to now know how you are going to show this prospect the business. And we've got some really cool tools that we've put up and some really cool tools that are right around the corner. Lee Oki talked about these sales funnels, and come first part of August, we've got some really cool sales funnels that you can insert to explain the situation for you. But real simply, when you show somebody the business, I suggest you steer them to your replicated Leafit website, leafit.biz/your username. Have them go there and watch the 2 videos that are on the website. Real simple. Well, Tim, I really want you to go to a website, my website, and watch a couple of videos. It's only about 7 minutes total in videos, but that'll give you a good idea of what we're up to. Okay? So steer them to your leafit.biz/username website. Okay? The next thing you might want to steer them to on that same page, by the way, and this is really important because this is all new, folks, on your replicated site, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see a watch a webinar link. Watch a webinar. And when you click there, or when your prospect clicks there, it's cookied so it remembers that it's your replicated site. Have them sign up and watch the 29-minute presentation. Now, incidentally, that webinar system is recorded. It gives 6 times per day that webinar is going off, but anybody at any time can watch it. And it's billed as watch the webinar from the day before. Anybody can watch that real time. Okay? So steer them to the bottom of your leafit.biz/username page and have them watch that presentation. So those are 2 automated tools that the company has developed for you to duplicate the message to your network, to your prospects, and teach that in your organization. You'll have big success. That's what I do. I use the tools and I steer people to the information. Now, one more point. I'm almost done. I know we can keep this inside 45 minutes. A couple more points here. Once that person agrees to watch the videos, you need to set an appointment as a follow-up. So let's just say we're dealing with Tim. You know, I asked Tim, hey, Tim, are you looking? He says, absolutely. What is it? We're going to set an appointment to follow up to see what if he has any questions on watching those videos. And I'm going to set an appointment. Now, if you're in the same town, I suggest you do a face-to-face meeting. That is the most effective, face-to-face, belly-to-belly, elbow-to-elbow meeting. If you're in the same town, or if you can get to that person, have him come to your home, have him come to your office, meet him at a coffee shop, meet the person in person. That is the most effective. However, if that person is 1,000 miles away or in a different state or a different country, get a screen share program. Join.me works very well. Join.me. Right now we're on a go-to meeting, but this one's expensive. Works real well. But Join.me actually has a free version, and I highly recommend you download it and start using it because you can share your computer screen with people and conduct meetings really well. And number 3 is pull in your upline. Pull in your upline sponsor, your upline leader, and have them help you do either of those above, an in-person meeting or a screen share meeting, and always, always plug into the company calls, such as this, or company webinars, such as this one, and the company events and the company updates. Okay? That's what I do. As a result, my team is quite large. It's growing every day. Lee said he likes to sip coffee in the morning and do his online business. I like to sip coffee in the morning and turn on my back office and see how much it grew through the night. And I think all you guys can relate to that. It's quite fun. And especially when the IT app comes out, which, folks, we're getting really, really close, final stages of legal. But when that IT app comes out, I really believe that this business is just going to skyrocket in a big way. You know, Aaron mentioned in his testimony that, in his closing statement, that it's all about showing them. Don't tell them, show them. This is a show me business. All right? Lee mentioned the sales funnel from an online marketing perspective. The company is coming out with a sales funnel that is very, very, very much like what Lee Oakey described, and we're really excited to offer that to you. It's going to be state-of-the-art. It's going to be very professional. It's going to be very duplicatable, and those tools absolutely will help you build your business. But get out of your comfort zone a little bit. If you're going to go be a network marketer or spread, your business, you need to talk to people. And I'm an old school network marketing guy, but with this age of internet and apps and electronics, you can't help but use technology to help spread your business and build your business on a global basis. So we're real excited about that. So that's what I've got. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a couple of minutes, if I may, and I want to talk about some of the changes that are coming August 2nd on the compensation plan. Monday night on the Jumpstart call, it was revealed what the company has in store. I am not a corporate guy. I do live in the same city as corporate. I'm actually the top earner of the company, and I'm very involved with helping these guys, build this company and do some consulting. And I'm a team player, and we interviewed a lot of people, industry veterans and normal people that haven't had much success, and we really believe that we've nailed the changes on the compensation plan. So I'm just going to touch on a couple of these as we move forward. So, hang tight, and I'm going to jump right into it. In a nutshell, we have what's called a 9-generation unilevel. That's going to be new. The matrix is going to be improved upon. There's a check match, which I'll hit in more detail, and, of course, the e-commerce. So let's go ahead and talk about the 9-generation unilevel. Now, excuse me, the price tag to become an associate is going up. All right, it's a first month total of $149. So it's $100. Let's just call it $100 one time, plus $49 a month. Your first month for brand new people, not existing people. If you got in leading up to August 2nd on your $40 per month package, okay, you do not have to pay the additional $100 get-in. Your price tag on a monthly basis, though, will be going up from $40 to $49. Okay? So for new people beginning August 2nd, when you recruit, when you enroll a personal associate who pays $149, you will make $50. Okay? For each personal you bring in personally, you'll make $50. Then when they enroll associates, you'll make $10. That's your second generation. So when your people enroll people, that'll be your second generation, you'll make $10. And as your organization grows, people who know people, the second to third to fourth generations, you'll see what happens there. You make $5 for each third generation person, 3, down 9. Okay? So many of you veterans are going to look at this and go, wow, this is great. Some of you new people who haven't been involved in this type of business aren't going to really understand it, but I can tell you that if you do what you're supposed to do as an associate and go build this business, this is going to be a beautiful income stream for you. We call it Fast Start Cash. We're also changing the payout. We're going to be paying weekly, so cutoff will be Tuesday. So if you enroll a brand new associate on a Monday or Tuesday, you will be paid 4 days later on Friday. Okay? So we're real excited about that. This is just on your personal lineage, your personal generations. It's called the 9-generation unilevel. The matrix. We're changing the matrix up a little bit. Some subtle changes. The first one is the flip-flop of level 1 and level 2. One is going to be reduced to $2. So for each person that land on your level 1 in your matrix, it's $2. But the enhancement, the improvement is $5 on your second. What this does is this gets money earlier in the matrix to your people, to you. As you build, you can get your money back a lot sooner, a lot easier, and be profitable. And, of course, that's what you want to do is be profitable. And we still have a $5 on the 9th. Now, one change is in order to get paid down 3 levels in the matrix, you need to enroll 1, personally enroll associate. In order to get paid 6 levels, you need to personally maintain 3 associates frontline. And to get all 9 levels, you need to enroll and maintain 5. That's easy to do in this business, especially with the excitement of the IT app and where we're going with this. It's a very simple presentation, as most of you know, And so you're going to get rewarded handsomely for maintaining 5 personally enrolled associates. You will earn 9 levels in your matrix. Okay, so a couple of changes there for the better. Let's move on. Generational check match. Now, as we talk about the matrix, this question, if I have growth beyond my 9th level in the matrix? Well, that's a good question. Until such time the generational check match kicks in, you're not going to make anything off anything below the 9th. Excuse me. Generational check match works like this. We are going to be installing some ranks: manager, director, senior director, executive, and senior executive. These are ranks based on production of your personal growth, not matrix overflow or spill, but on your personal genealogy, your personal lineage. Okay? And so at manager, let's say, for instance, you enroll Mary. Mary is going to be on your first generation. When you hit manager, meaning you have team volume or TV of 600, and what that means is that's going to be based on the $49. So each person in your personal lineage paying their monthly package of $49, you add that up, if it exceeds 600, you're not qualified for a manager check match. So you bring in Mary. Let's say Mary makes $100 in the matrix. You make 5%, you made an additional $5. Let's say Mary makes $1,000 in the matrix. You can do the math. You make $50. Now, as you promote up, and incidentally, folks, in your back office, this new compensation is listed in your back office. It says clearly it does not go live until August 2nd. I suggest you take a look at that. It's essentially the same slides in your back office. But as you rank up to director and senior director and beyond, not only does your first generation or your level 1 percentage increase on your personals, but you'll also get paid in depth. So for example, let's say, for instance, you bring on Mary. You are a senior director. You've promoted up. You have 10 personals. You've hit the group volume or the TV requirement, and you're now a senior director. You're going to make 7% off of your personal enrollments matrix money. So if Mary makes $1,000 in the matrix, you just made 7%. If Joe, who's your personal, made $5,000 in the matrix, you just made 7% of $5,000. Okay, that's what, $350, level 1. But it gets better because when Mary brings on Tom, Dick, and Harry, on your second level, you're going to make a 6% match on Tom, Dick, and Harry's matrix money. So you'll see, not only does it increase the percentages, when you build this thing and take it seriously, and you become a senior executive, which many of you on this webinar will do. You always shoot for the top. I know I do. All right? You're going to make 10% on your personals and their personals and their personals and their personals and their personals 5 generations. Play with that math a little bit. It's gonna get significant. I'm not here to make claims of income. I'm not here to overstate anything, but mathematically, the check match for a builder absolutely outweighs a personal matrix. So we are super excited about that, and I gotta believe you are too. Based on the initial launch of this, or the initial these last 4 days at Leafit home office, we've seen our biggest growth since the company started. Absolutely incredible, and we fully know that it's based on the changes in the compensation plan and, of course, getting closer to the launch of the IT app. Lastly, e-commerce sales. This is what it's all about, guys. E-commerce generational sales. Free affiliates will earn 10% commission on the content that they post, share, and where e-commerce is generated. As an associate, you will earn 10% on your level 1 on the content you create, and there's 9 levels of e-commerce commissions, which gets bumped at the 8th and 9th generation to 10%. Okay? So what that means is that when a purchase is made, the computer system is going to look at the associate or the affiliate who generated the commission is going to look at the computer and go 9 levels up and pay 9 levels up in the e-commerce generational structure. So that's really, really exciting. I think as soon as the IT app comes out and as soon as we get a real testimony and see a live e-commerce transaction and document that and take videos of actual sales and actual commissions, I have a feeling we're going to see sales and growth like we've never even imagined in this company. So I can't wait until this IT app comes out, and I'm sure we're on the same page there. So folks, I just hope you're as excited as I am. We are right there at the starting gate, and this gate is about to drop in a big way. We've got a lot of you folks who are building your business and really getting on it and getting the word out, whether it's belly to belly or online marketing. These calls, I hope, create value to you and your teams. I highly recommend that these webinars are something that are on your calendar every Tuesday, every Thursday. Plug in and get your team to plug into these webinars. These webinars are here to help you. So look out for future tools. Look out for the IT app. It's coming. Aaron, thanks so much, man, for jumping on here. I can't wait to shake your hand and get to know you a little bit better. Lee, thanks as always for everything you do. And, we wish everybody success. And stay tuned for more. We are right there. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.